Preesha was a young woman from a small town in Kashmir. She had dreams of becoming a doctor and had worked hard to get into a medical college in Delhi. But her life took an unexpected turn when she met Armaan, a charming man who swept her off her feet. Armaan was not what he seemed. He was a member of a Pakistan-supported radical organization that was hell-bent on converting young Hindu women through love and marriage. Armaan had been tasked with luring Preesha into his trap and converting her to a specific religion. Preesha fell for Armaan's charm, and they started dating. But things took a dark turn when Armaan's true intentions were revealed. He wanted Preesha to convert to his religion and marry him. When Preesha refused, she was abducted, and later that night he and his men allegedly raped her and threatened to harm her family on failing to comply. A helpless Preesha kept struggling to free herself from the clutches of her captors, but could not, as she was drugged, and those merciless beasts kept on raping her, taking turns. She was very heartbroken that day, yet she refused to give up her life and wanted to live. She wanted to see what that cold-hearted Almighty had in store for her. Preesha was trapped with no way out. Time passed, and the time came when Rudra stepped in her life. Rudra and Preesha's paths crossed in a small tea shop in the city. Preesha was hesitant to trust Rudra at first, but soon realized that he was her only hope. Rudra was determined to save Preesha and bring her husband Armaan to justice. They made a plan to escape from the city and go into hiding. As they were leaving the tea shop, Armaan's men caught up to them. A fierce battle broke out in the narrow alleys of the city. Rudra fought off Armaan's men with all his might, using his training and wits to outsmart them. Preesha was amazed by Rudra's courage and skill. She had never seen anyone fight like he did. In the heat of battle, Rudra and Preesha's eyes met, and they felt a spark between them. With Rudra's help, Preesha was able to escape from Armaan's clutches. They went into hiding in a remote village in the valley. There, they had time to get to know each other and fell in love. Often they lost track of time gazing into each other's eyes. Their touches were electric, sending shivers down each other's spines. Often so, they stole away to the privacy of their hut, where they would embrace with a hunger that never seemed to be satisfied. Their lovemaking was passionate and intense, each kiss and caress igniting a fire within them that burned hotter and brighter than the sun. But they couldn't linger for too long, for they had a mission to complete. And so, their happiness was short-lived. Armaan and his men had tracked them down and were closing in. Rudra and Preesha knew they had to fight to survive. Rudra and Preesha quickly gathered their weapons and prepared for battle. They knew that Armaan and his men were highly trained and well-armed, but they were determined to defend themselves and their love. As Armaan and his men approached, Rudra and Preesha took cover behind the boulders and trees, ready to strike. They waited patiently for the right moment, watching as the armed men made their way up the hill. Suddenly, Armaan spotted them and shouted for his men to open fire. The sound of gunfire echoed through the valley as bullets flew past Rudra and Preesha. They returned fire, their aim steady and true. Preesha moved quickly, taking out 2 of Armaan's men with her knives before they even knew what hit them. Rudra used his expertise in hand-to-hand combat to take down several others, his fists striking with deadly precision. The 2 lovers fought side by side, their movements perfectly synchronized as they took on Armaan's men. They ducked and weaved, dodging bullets and avoiding blows, their hearts pounding with adrenaline and passion. As the battle raged on, Rudra spotted Armaan in the distance. He knew that he had to take out the leader if they had any hope of surviving. He signaled to Preesha to cover him and charged towards Armaan. The 2 men clashed in a fierce hand-to-hand combat, their fists and feet flying as they exchanged blows. Armaan was skilled, but Rudra was determined. He landed a powerful punch to Armaan's jaw, sending him reeling backwards. Preesha had taken down the last of Armaan's men and rushed to Rudra's side. They stood together, their eyes locked on Armaan as he struggled to stand back up. But before he could make another move, a helicopter appeared overhead. It was the Indian forces, finally arriving to put an end to Armaan's terror. Rudra and Preesha breathed a sigh of relief as the soldiers descended from the helicopter and apprehended Armaan and his men. With Armaan defeated, they were finally able to live their lives in peace. They returned to the city, where they reunited with their families and friends. Despite the danger and violence they had faced, they knew that their love had only grown stronger. They knew there would always be dangers and obstacles to overcome, but they also knew that they would face them together, side by side, always and forever. This was Preesha's story. I hope you learned something. This issue is a social evil that needs urgent attention. Please like, share, and subscribe, and help us reach more people and create more awareness regarding the issue both in India and abroad. Jai Hind!